Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. Today we wanted to give a quick update, a little bit on the shop, and introduce our first major project and kind of talk about some plans down the road. So a couple updates on the shop. We've been working all day today actually, roughing in some electric. We've rented a place that was pretty bare bones as far as electric service, that kind of thing. So our landlord pretty much said, set it up how you want to use it. So we have roughed in electric. We're working on getting some things mounted and finalized, run it to the box. Some of this is in preparation for our lift. So the lift we're supposed to receive today, it was delayed actually because of the wildfires in California. My lift supplier gets his lifts they come in through, I guess, the Port of LA. And so we were delayed. So that actually has delayed us on our project and actually starting work and bringing things to you guys. But we did want to give an update, introduce, like I said, our first project, and move forward. So without further ado, I'll introduce our 2000 WS6 Trans Am. This car was a personal friend's. He owned the car, purchased a new Corvette, knew that we were looking to do some YouTube content. I myself, as we all know, I'm a Ford guy. You saw in the intro video if you've watched that. If you haven't, go check it out. It'll kind of set the context for what I'm about to explain. But I'm typically a Ford guy. I've been a Mustang guy most of my driving career, a Ford guy. We have 3 cars that are in our normal fleet that are Ford products. And so we decided to step out of our element a little bit. That's not to say that there won't be tons of Ford content here. And there's actually another plan that springs off of this build that we'll talk about in the future. And maybe a little bit later in this video, I'll give some hints kind of what my plans are. My dad is a huge GM guy. You'll see a Corvette on our channel. It's a C6 Corvette that's supercharged. It's cammed, exhaust. Super nice car. He's a big LS guy. All of his cars are LS, either 5.3 or, the C6, so was it 6 liter, I guess? I may be wrong. Again, I'm a Ford guy, so I'm learning. That's why we chose this project. We chose something to take us out of our element, to introduce us a little bit to a new world. We attended LS Fest this past in 2024. I took my dad with me. We decided that we were going to kind of explore that world. I'm a Coyote guy. I'm a 302, 351 guy. That's been my world. So we're going to see me make lots of mistakes and follies, I'm sure, with this car. I'm excited to get a lift, to get underneath this thing. I'm going to run through the car a little bit. I'll show you guys some things. Like I said, it's a 236,000 mile car. We got a good deal, but the trade-off is she needs work. But that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing things for you guys. So right off the bat, I can tell you it's typical F-body things are going to have to be done. Our goal with this car is to build a budget drag car. Now, to what level and to what budget? We're trying to be very budget minded, but still we want to be competitive. No one wants to go out and look like a Yahoo at the drag strip, right? Like if you're a guy that's trying to be competitive, you put all this time and energy into a car, no one wants to be the slowest guy at the track for the event. So we know that the rear end in this car is a weak. It's a 10-bolt rear end. All the F-body guys, I have talked to everybody right out of the gate. 12-bolt, 9-inch. I hear some folks are putting 8.8 Mustang rear ends in, which was kind of exciting to me because I know that platform. So that opens up some doors knowledge-wise for me that puts me a little back in my element without, making it so that I just have to struggle nonstop. We know that the torque arm in this is super flexible. It becomes an issue for drag racing. I know UMI, BMR, those products you're going to see on this car. The goal with the overall platform, the car has a ton of miles. So we know the 6-liter, it runs fine, it does well, but it has, it's not a lot of miles. It has pieces and parts that we're probably going to use for our budget build. A lot of guys talk about the heads on this. I have another friend who's a huge F-body guy. He's been a fantastic resource. I can't thank him enough. He's answered a bazillion Facebook message and text questions. Want to basically, the idea from speaking with him and looking at the normal forums that everyone looks at for F-body stuff is it looks like a 5.3 is going to be the plan for this. That being said, it will probably, well, won't probably, it will be turboed. We don't know if we're going to do a single or a twin. Looks like single is a common one for a lot of these builds because of space limitations. One of the things that caught me off guard right out of the gate with purchasing the car and kind of evaluating the build is the limited amount of space under the hood and the fact that everything sets way back in and under the firewall. As a guy who my drag racing past was mostly around Fox body stuff, there was tons of room. When you lost accessories and some other stuff, it's really hard to not say tons of positive things about the Fox body platform. There's a reason it's a super popular car and popular in the drag racing world especially. So we know we have some limitations for turbo size, so we don't know if we'll do twin or single, but it will be turbo 5.3. Transmission wise, this is what is it, the 6, well, not the 6R80 Ford stuff again. It's the 60 transmission, not the 80. I apologize, I'm drawing a blank right now, but we know that this transmission again has a lot of miles on it. The plan is to do turbo 400. The type of power we would like to make with this car, we don't know if we're going to get there, but the goal would be 1,000, a little more than 1,000 horsepower to try. And like I said, we want to be competitive, but we want to be competitive on a budget. So 5.3 turbo 400, some type of aftermarket rear end, suspension. But we also have to address some just general things with the car. She's old. The car is a very clean car. There's no rust. There's no real anything that's blaring problems. It's just little things like the steering. I'll show you guys here in a minute. The steering does the, I guess, common GM thing where from 12 to 7 o'clock, it has a horrible wobble. So I have a kit that I purchased online. When I do that install, that'll actually be a video where I kind of take apart the steering column. We work through that. We'll kind of go over the kit that I got that replaces the pins in the steering column to remove that wobble. So that's a problem that I know of with the car out of the gate. A couple other like piddly things that bug me though is like the door locks. The car's always, all previous owners have operated the car with keyless entry. And the door locks, none of the keys for the doors or the hatch work for the car. So I'd like to key both doors and the hatch to an actual key that works just for security, safety. I would like to be able to do some drag and drive stuff with this car. So not being able to lock the car or trusting only a single key fob that's keyless entry, way too risky. I don't want to be out of town, have a built car, and run into issues with security and locking. The interior itself, again, I'll show you all this stuff here just in a sec. Interior's in great shape. The T-tops don't leak. When I first purchased the car, before we had the shop, it actually sat in my driveway for probably a month or two. No water leaks, no damage. It's very dirty. It will be washed as part of the just normal day-to-day. But we're kind of just hanging tight a little bit. We're waiting for the lift to dig in. I do know that there's an oil leak, and my guess is it's a rear main seal. Once I get up on the lift, I'll know a little bit more there. It does have headers on the car already, which when we do turbo, that will all change. The whole exhaust will probably change. So that's kind of the plans for the build. I want to dig in, kind of see what we got, but it's the idea behind it is it's going to be a budget build. I want to try and use as many of the LS1 stuff that I can. I know a lot of guys are saying use the heads. I have a horsepower goal in mind that I shared. Are these LS1 heads, when they get worked by a machine shop, going to help? I don't know. I will say the 5.3, again, we're talking budget. I'm not going to take a junkyard motor, do nothing to it, slap these heads on it, put a turbo on it, and go drive it. That would be budget, I agree, but I'm not at liberty as a solo builder. I can't say solo builder. I'm thankful that I have great friends that are willing to help, and I will have folks here to help me do some of these things. But as you know, I don't want to take things in and out 500 times if they're not broken. I want to do it right the first time. I want to do a solid bottom end, rods, pistons for boost. The rings are gapped. I want to do things right if I'm taking it all apart. I want to make sure that, to start off with, just based on budget and time, we may see where I pull the transmission, fix the rear main seal, get the Turbo 400 built. We'll maybe put it back in so that at least the transmission, all that's mocked up, it's working, and potentially maybe do part of the season with the LS1 as it is until we have some kind of catastrophe, because the motor is going to have to go to a machine shop. I already know that I'm going to bore it. I know that we're going to do a stroke deal. Again, we have some ideas in mind, so that's kind of what we want to go for. All this being said, let me show you a little bit around the car and kind of let you see some of the quirks and the things that she needs. So I'll show you a little bit around the car. So like I said, as you can see, the interior is not bad. I'll show you a couple other shots, but the biggest complaint I have is the steering column. I guess this is a known issue with GM tilt columns. I'm, again, new to the GM world, so did a little bit of research and kind of discovered that this is pretty normal. This will be probably one of our first projects we start on. We've got to get all of this apart, and I've got aftermarket steering wheel from Motion Raceworks. It was a creature comfort thing. Again, I know I said budget, but there's a few things I'd like to do just to make the car more enjoyable to drive. But like I said, you can see this column moves like wild. So we're going to take we're going to disconnect the battery, take the airbag out. We are going to take all the covers off of the column. There's a pin on this side and a pin on this side that you remove one at a time and replace with a aftermarket pin. I will share the name of the company when I cover that whole install. They basically create an oversized pin that fills the gap. What happens is, as I understand it, instead of a round hole, these kind of become egg-shaped, and it allows it to pull through. So this is one of our first projects. We are removing the airbag. It's going to be a street strip car, drag and drive car. That's the initial plan. So I'll run you around a little bit more, let you see the engine compartment, just kind of the shape of the interior, kind of to see what we're working with. We started off with a pretty solid car, and like I said, we got a great deal from a friend, so it was kind of a no-brainer to start off with this and kind of go from there. So let me show you around a little bit more of the car. So you can see the interior is pretty clean. For a 25-year-old car, there's a few issues. You can see that the fuse box cover, which I do have, the fuse box cover there on the left of the screen has fallen off. I guess this is also, I've seen a handful of these cars like this. So we're going to address that, little things. But overall, the interior is in great shape. It's a clean car. The seat covers are in great shape. There's no splits, tears. It's not cracked through. Front and rear seats are in great shape. The whole centerpiece is all original. Someone didn't try and take a hatchet and remove the radio section. I don't know if you can see in this shot, but everything's all original. It needs a window regulator. I guess this is another common issue. Motor and regulators go bad. The windows go up and down horrifically slow, which I also know is a common issue. but I think the driver's side window regulator is on its way out the door. So those will be things we address. Again, those aren't part of the build as far as performance, speed, being able to go drag race, but I do need to roll my window down when you're going through to get your time slips. The windows need to be able to go up and down. There is a plan for a roll cage in this car. I have another buddy who's a welder, and he has agreed to, well, he does fabrication. I shouldn't say welding. He'll be in a video. We will do that together. He's agreed to help me do this. He's actually helped someone else do a cage in one of their drag cars. I kind of inquired with him if he was interested in participating, and he did say that he would take on the task. So we're going to jump in and we're going to cage this baby. T-top car. We want it to perform. We want it to be safe. Safety is our number one concern, and that's probably one of the areas where, as far as budget goes, I will not skimp. I want to be safe. I want it to be, conveying the right message as well to everyone who's watching. That is a priority. That will be a priority. I won't race the car if it's not safe, which is why I want to address some suspension components, some brake stuff. There are a few things that I will not, that just outright won't be budget stuff because it affects my safety. Brakes, I'm probably going to spend a fair amount of money on brakes because, again, a good set of TBMs and being able to stop and not die is way more important. Having a cage, way more important. The safety gear that I'm wearing, way more important. I can always work on the car and make it faster, but if I wreck it or kill myself, then that does me no good. So, yeah, safety is going to be a big push on this build all and pretty much through the whole thing. So I'll take you over. I'll show you the engine compartment, kind of how it is. It's nothing spectacular. It's stock and dirty, but I want everyone to see kind of what we're starting with. So as we go through this series, you get to kind of see the evolution. All right. As promised, here's the engine compartment. Nothing fancy whatsoever. Stock airbox. It's an LS1. Every time I look in here as a Fox body and Mustang guy, I am just mind blown at how far back everything sits. Good news is I have seen multitudes of builds and guys who have attacked all this and gotten tons of space in here. So that will all happen. The whole ABS stuff will get changed. Kind of want to stick with air conditioning. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it off or not yet with turbo stuff. I've looked at a few. There's a car here that's local, a very nice silver WS6. Not really sure the year, but he has a ton of room, but he definitely lost some creature comforts. I know there's intercooler stuff here. I think Huron Speed is making a lot of the kits and stuff. That's what I've looked at the most. So Huron Speed stuff will likely be the ticket. I do have a friend that does custom fabrication on race car stuff. I haven't spoken to him about this yet at all, but he may be able to help me with some piping and do some work there. So I'll reach out to him. I have lots to learn. I just know that the lack of space under here is obscenely alarming to me. The battery, I'm sure we'll probably relocate to the trunk. Again, I'm going off of old knowledge and what I know as Fox body stuff, but I think, getting over the back is still probably the ticket. And yeah, this is it. She doesn't have any major leaks that I see up here. There is an oil leak under the car, which really, it feels like it's a rear main with how many miles are on the car. So that we'll take a look at that once we get the lift here. We can get it up and kind of analyze things. So there's our engine compartment and the stock LS1 that's in there. So outside of tackling the steering column issue and wanting to change the steering wheel while I have the column apart, one of my other first projects right out of the gate and goals, the car has factory Pontiac wheels on it. And that's just not going to work for what we're doing for our application. So we have scored a super sweet set of weld bead locks. So we'll get these mounted up. That'll be part of that next video. is watching me likely struggle to get these mounted up and ready to go. I've actually never done a set of beadlocks by myself, so this will be, I'm sure, a challenge. I will time lapse it so no one has to suffer through watching me wrestle these things. You know, no one wants to see 30 minutes of me trying to manhandle a tire onto a rim. So that'll be part of the next video once I can get the car up in the air, get things off. It probably sounds lazy because I want to have the lift here, but you know, I'd rather work smarter than harder. So the beadlocks, the steering column, those will all be right out of the gate. We will have a follow-up video. We've actually purchased a 5.3 already. We did not purchase a junkyard 5.3. We purchased a motor that was out of a truck that had frame damage from rust, and we found it on Facebook Marketplace. That's a video all in its own. I'm going to go through, give the story of the motor. We're going to do a teardown of the motor. We'll let you guys kind of see what we have. I was told the motor has 170 or 80,000 miles on it. For a 5.3 that we know we're going to machine, I think it's going to be okay. But we'll see. So that'll be here in a future video. We also have a Turbo 400 out of an older Pontiac, and we're working to try and get that transmission built so we have parts and ready to go to continue the flow of the projects and keep things moving. We already are kind of falling behind a little bit, like I said, just with the wildfires and delaying our lift and getting our shop set up. Electric, the lift, the whole thing has kind of taken us a little longer than we anticipated, but we are working on that. So those are all upcoming videos that you can be hopefully looking forward to. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will make sure I do a playlist of the Trans Am as an overall plan so that you can kind of see those as you go. So I wanted to take a moment out of the video to shout out our sponsor. Our sponsor is actually Torque, our merch site. You can visit us at www.torquepp.com. We're dropping new shirts and apparel and items almost every few weeks. This is actually our latest drop, as always, and it's the shirt I'm actually wearing right now myself. It's always got the, you know, the Torque logo on the front, and we did the retro twin turbos on the back. We did a little bit of a shout out to the 70s. I'm an old guy, so we did a little bit of a shout out to the 70s with the TV show The Super Friends. There was characters on there called the Wonder Twins. So we did the Wonder Twins Activate, and it's the retro turbo characters. So make sure you go check out our website. That's how we continue to build the cars, the content, everything you see. And this is going to get better as we go. It's currently 20 degrees in Ohio. I've got ice out in front of my shop. So drag racing content's a little tough. We have plans for Ponies on the Smokies. I want to do the Bronco Super Celebration. We don't just go to these things and set. We actually participate in the Bronco. You'll get to see some trails that are around the Tennessee area. Nothing crazy, but we do it with a handful of groups. So you get to see us do other stuff. But we do all this stuff thanks to you guys. And again, make sure you check out www.torquepp.com and buy up some merch. Every bit helps, so we appreciate it. So I've alluded that there's some other plans with this chassis and some other things. So outside of building this car, one of our goals is we're currently searching for an additional chassis. We kind of want to do a shootout and a comparison. I don't want to give away too much yet. Just stay tuned. There are some plans. I've spoken to some folks who had expressed interest in seeing a comparison and some stuff with a shootout. So hang tight. There's more to come on that. That being said, I'm going to close out the video. I know it's been a lot of talking, not a lot of action today. I just want to give an update real quick on the shop, where we're at. We've been here just a couple weeks, so we're settling in, moving things in, getting our tools set up, our electric, I mean, everything. So it's been a kind of a uphill climb, but once we get rolling, things will be way more action on the cars, way more to see and do. Plus, when things warm up, we'll have tons of content. We have drag race, motorcycle drag race stuff to do with our Hayabusa, content on even our boat. But our main focus is going to be drag racing, the Trans Am, and very hopefully the upcoming kind of shootout plan with another chassis. If it all works out, I'll share more. That, you know, our S550 car we'll have out. We're going to do car shows. We're doing meets. We'll be out all over the place. So thanks for watching. I don't want to talk your ear off. I know, like I said, it's been a lot of chatter and not a lot of action, but I did want to introduce the car. We did a short that kind of said coming soon. Wanted to explain the plans, what's to come, what you can expect to see, what I have already in parts and equipment to start this build, and hopefully you tune in and come back to see more. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. The typical like and subscribe. Subscribing is going to help me immensely. It's free and it's super helpful, especially with being a newer channel. This is our 3rd video drop, so that makes a huge difference. I appreciate it. Make sure everyone, you know, it's not hard to be nice to each other. Be nice. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.